Hello, this is Miss Deb here, and today I'm going to read you a book called Tar Beach by Faith Ringgold. She's an artist, and her medium of art making artwork is quilting. So you will see this is one of her artworks on the cover, and everything over here is made out of cloth, while she stitches and also she paints on the cloth. So what I'm going to talk to you about it's this artwork called Tar Beach, and I would like you to wonder why. What comes to your mind when you hear the word beach, and why do you think this is called Tar Beach? And look, somebody is flying over looks like a house. So let's read it. Tar Beach by Faith Ringgold. And these are all part of her quilts that she has used different kinds of cloth to make a pattern. I will always remember when the stars fell down around me and lifted me up above the George Washington Bridge. So looks like she's imagining herself to be flying, and she thinks the stars are coming down and lifting her up, and so she can fly over and look down below and look at all the buildings around her. So you can see that George Washington Bridge is here. It says George Washington Bridge. Where do you think George Washington Bridge is? If you don't know, I'll let you know. It's in New York City. And this is where she lives. She lives in one of these houses, and she can look down upon all those houses. So she's telling the story of her life. I could see our tiny rooftop with Mommy and Daddy and Mr. and Mrs. Honey, our next door neighbors, still playing cards as if nothing was going on. So they're on the rooftop. Look, this is like black because covered with tar. And she can see her mom and dad and the next door neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Honey, playing cards. There's a table full of food. Looks like they're having an outing. And there's some laundry that's hanging all around here to be dried. And I think this could be her little brother. And baby, my baby brother, yep, lying real still on the mattress. Just like I told him to. His eyes like huge floodlights tracking me through the sky. So that's her baby brother, baby. And you can see the faraway buildings, the top part of the buildings, and the George Washington Bridge at the back. Sleeping on Tar Beach was magical. Oh, her rooftop, she's calling her Tar Beach. She's imagining herself on a beach, but since she's on a rooftop which is covered with tar, she's thinking as a tar beach. So sleeping on Tar Beach was magical. Lying on the roof in the night with stars and skyscrapers, buildings all around me, made me feel rich, like I owned all that I could see. The bridge was my most prized possession. So you can still see the bridge at the back. And there's some buildings, and this is the rooftop with some plants around it and some food. So she is imagining herself. Daddy said that George Washington Bridge is the longest and most beautiful bridge in the world, and that it opened in 1931 on the very day I was born. Daddy worked on that bridge, hoisting cables. Since then, I wanted that bridge to be mine. Since George Washington Bridge, and she was born on the same day, so she thought that she owned it, and that's her daddy. She's imagining that he's building the bridge over here, and there's a ship way below going down there. And that's the hospital when she was born. Now I have claimed it. All I have to do was fly over it for it to be mine forever. I can wear it like a giant diamond necklace. Ooh, can you see that? Can you imagine that this could be a giant necklace on somebody's neck? And she's imagining herself flying over everything. or just fly above it and marvel at its sparkling beauty. I can fly, yes, fly. Me, Cassie Louise Lightfoot, only 8 years old and in the third grade, and I can fly. That means I'm free to go wherever I want for the rest of my life. Daddy took me to see the new Union building he is working on. He can walk on the steel girders high up in the sky and not fall. They call him the cat because you know cats can walk on very narrow ledges. Looks like the little girl's dad can walk on very narrow ledges too. So she is going with her dad to look at the building that he is building currently. And look, other buildings are so small because this building is going to be really big. Have you noticed one thing? All the pages have this beautiful quilt border all along. Over here too. So this is it's have a kind of a quilt look. But still he can't join the union because Grandpa wasn't a member. Well, Daddy is going to own that building, 'cause I'm going to fly over it and give it to him. Then it won't matter that he's not in their old union or whether he's colored or half-bred Indian like they say. So this is also a story about the African Americans and how they have felt discriminated against. So she also feels that even though she is 8 years old, she feels all those things. So she's talking about how they will not include him in the union. He'll be rich and won't have to stand on 24-story high girders and look down. He can look at his building going up. See, it's going up that way and he's looking up. And Mommy won't cry all winter when he goes to look for work and doesn't come home. So it's winter, there's snow, and that's Daddy coming home. And Mommy can laugh and sleep late like Mrs. Honey. So look at this beautiful quilt covering her bed. And we can have ice cream every night for dessert. So they are having like dessert and they're thinking of having ice cream because they cannot afford it currently. And they wish they had ice cream every night. Wouldn't we all? That would be lovely. Next time I'm going to fly over the ice cream factory just to make sure we do. Now she's imagining herself flying over the ice cream factory. And the George Washington Bridge is at the back, and look at the quilt border over here. Tonight we are going up to Tar Beach. She thinks her rooftop as the Tar Beach. Mommy is roasting peanuts and frying chicken. And Daddy will bring home a watermelon. Mr. and Mrs. Honey will bring the beer and their old green card table. So they're having a get-together. So they're bringing food, they're setting up tables, so they can have a game night. And then the stars will fall around me and I will fly to the Union building. So she's again imagining she's going to fly to the Union building, which her daddy was building. I'll take baby with me. Look, she's taking her own brother. He has threatened to tell mommy and daddy if I leave him behind. I have told him it's very easy. Anyone can fly. All you need is somewhere to go and you can get to any other way. The next thing you know, you're flying among the stars. So it's actually, do you think she's really flying or it's her imagination that's doing, she's flying through? So I would like you to think where your imagination would take you. So this is the actual quilt. You can see, and she has written the story right here on the quilt. See, it's on the top over here and over here. And this is the real artist, Faith Ringgold. And there you can see that she has made this quilt and she has painted this picture in the quilt and all about her flying over. There she is imagining here lying down on the rooftop, and there she's flying too. So this is a story about imagination. I know nowadays days it's very hard to get to things where you would like to do. So let's see what we can do and create our own artwork. And imagine, where would you like to go if you could fly anywhere in the world? Would it be like a famous building like Taj Mahal? Or the Antarctic where the polar bears are? Or maybe a Paris and see Eiffel Tower? Or go under the water to see the coral reefs? How about Washington, D.C. or the Grand Canyon? Your imagination is the highest form that you can use to travel anywhere in the world. I have imagined myself going to Egypt, so I have drawn an Egyptian scene with me at the top flying over it, and I painted with the watercolors. You can imagine wherever you want to go, and you can color it with anything that you have. And you will see that I have made some border with colored papers to make it look like a quilt. You can choose any kind of color papers you have. I have chosen gift wrappers and some magazine covers. You can choose anything that you have available, even newspapers would do. Cut them into small squares and make a pattern around your picture to make it look like a quilt. Happy creating!